So, audio looks good, video looks good. Waiting on the YouTube preview there to pop up. My little blurb there. You could spell out, right? That's super useful. Got that. I think we're good to go. Hey there, hi there, everybody. Just a wee bit. Hey, how's it going? Glad to have you here. Welcome to the Sunday edition of the live stream. Starting off a little bit early here today. Got a lot of stuff to get through and take care of. I'm gonna be doing the Sunday arena from top to bottom. See how that goes. And play it by ear. I want to say a big warm welcome to everybody who's watching live. Glad to have you here. To everybody who finds this later on, cheers for checking out the channel. It's going to be a really straightforward grind, and I hope you see what you like here on the channel. I want to take a moment to give a big howdy and welcome to the latest Von subs to the channel. Again, cheers on finding the channel and really, digging the content you see there. So glad to have you here, and welcome aboard. But without too much further ado, I just got to finish up this this hood quick in story mode for the EQ. Oh. Preferably without dying. Let's say I think he's got one of those things where I can't do the same move twice. Nope. Probably should have checked out the node before I just jumped in. What's up, Brandon? How are you, man? Oh. No, that's just enough of that silliness. Hey, Chad. Happy Sunday. How are you? Hope you're doing well here this fine evening. Back off from that. I think we're good to go. It's enough of the story quest for right now. Burned off enough energy. Should be safe to not run out of that anytime soon. And then just dive straight away. Well, I mean, I'm glad to have you here, Brandon. Definitely glad to have you here. 3 in the morning, that's something else. Hopefully you've got a empty schedule here Monday morning. Get some Z's in. Chad asks, why though? That's a very good philosophical question, my friend. Why though what? Ah. Age-old question. Well, everyone's got their own thing, no doubt. Especially with the way that the world is right now. Sometimes it's hard to tell what day is what. Everyone's schedules are all over the place. It's whatever winds up working out for you. I've been known to pull a couple of late shifts here myself. But for now, well, these guys aren't refreshed yet. Still got half an hour. Should be okay. Those are leftovers from the last Taskmaster stretch this morning. And from what I saw from a couple of released scores, Taskmaster went ridiculously low. Like 35 mil wound up getting somebody ranked 90. So I assume he's going to go a little bit higher next time just because people want the shards. But for me, since I want the champ, that's a very good sign. Should make for a fairly straightforward grind, which I very much appreciate. Because after that comes White Widow, and White Widow is going to be a bit more challenging, I believe. What's up, AC? Yeah, starting off a little bit early here tonight. There's a lot of stuff to get through. A lot of stuff to get through. And I figured, you know, what the heck, why not, right? And this Sunday grind here does take a hot minute, because not only do you got to build up the infinite streak, then since you can play 6 stars as well, just takes a minute to get through the 6-star roster, and then some of the applicable 5s. Wind up somewhere in, you know, 4 million, 5 million range, whatever it is, for that top 1 to 10% bracket. If I could get this stupid guy to just friggin' attack me instead of chase me across the entire arena, that'd be pretty cool. I'd appreciate that. That is far and away my least favorite feature in the game, is passive stupid AI. You can be aggressive as much as you want, that's fine, I can play around that, but the ability for bots to just run up in front of you and stop without doing anything is super annoying. Hey, no worries, AC, you do you, man. As long as everybody keeps the chat box cordial, that's really the only prerequisite that I've got. As soon as you start trash talking people, then that's when you get the boot. But otherwise, sky's the limit. But if you are in the friend zone, can you get out of it? Yeah, it's possible, it's plausible. But really, I mean, if you find yourself there, it's best really just to move on. Alright, so starting in on round 5 here. Again, this is just my own personal preference. I know that there are faster, easier ways to get the infinite streak using 5 stars. You can get the infinite streak starting at the bottom of your 5-star roster. That works out pretty good, but you know, I've said it before, I'll definitely say it again. It's just habit for me at this point. I've been using these teams of 4 stars to get my streak for years now. And really, it's the only chance I ever get to play my 4 stars. So I hardly ever burn them in Arena 4 points, even for a featured grind, really. So just being able to take them out and dust them off a little bit, even if it's for, you know, 10 rounds in the beginning of each arena, I figure why not? Pitted against one of my favorite champs to fight, freaking Gilly. It's because she's ridiculously annoying, and that her low percent to get into that invisible phase winds up being ridiculously high just because reasons. And the Digicloak is always so much fun. So much fun. Because it just slows down the fight. She's not a bad champ, and it's a good ability to have. I'm just saying that when you go up against champs like her, or Nick Fury, or Diaper Man Weapon X, it just slows down your flow, because they're unique champs and you got to fight them in a unique way. So let's keep going down the roster there. Oh, I hear you there, AC. I hear you there. Like, there's a point where, you know, you're hyper focused and you're paying a lot of attention, but then there's another point too where you can, you know, turn your mind into autoplay and just go through the motions, but there's that thin red line in the sand, you know. When you're paying attention, and then you blink, and then there's like 5 hits into a combo on you, and you don't know how that happened. Yeah, it's happened to me more times than I care to admit. Falling asleep on my game a couple of times too. That's always fun. It's a good sign that I need to take a step back and just chill. What's up, Ken? How are you? How to get the win streak in the Sunday 4, 5, and 6 arena? That is an excellent question. Whereabouts in the game are you? If you've got 10 teams of max out 4 stars or rank 4 stars, you can get it fairly straightforward. If you're new to the game and you've still got 3 stars or maxed out 3 stars, it's plausible, but that's a bit more of a push. I'm going through the motions here right now with a 4-star team. And even though you can bring 6 stars into the arena, 4 stars are more than adequate to get the streak. There are definitely times too when it's like right in the thick of Alliance War season or Alliance Quest season. Like either if I crash early for a night and I don't get as far down my path as I should, you know, I want to jump on right away just so I don't hold up my teammates anymore. But it's a bad idea for me. Like I gotta take a step back, you know, wake up first, and then maybe like a half hour into being awake, then go for it. Make sure that my reflexes are on par and whatnot. So, because otherwise, then that's just asking to burn units and burn items. Wind up getting hit when you really shouldn't get hit. Yeah, you bet. Kept losing the streak at win 10 or win 20. What team are you running at win 20? Because by then you should not only have this streak, but you should be 5 wins past the streak too. Oh yeah, easy for sure. I was so excited to get a 4-star Karnak. I mean, granted, he's been ranked 5 for years at this point, but oh heck yeah. I don't regret it. Because at the time, he was one of the only champs that could get True Strike reliably and quickly, right? Just with a special one. So then I was like, oh yeah, this is amazing. Sign me up. And he's not a bad champ now, he's just overshadowed by a lot of people, that's all. But yeah, he's not bad. Good. Good. Glad to hear that She-Hulk is ranked 2. She's amazing. Have you gotten a chance to play her now that she's ranked 2, or you gonna be diving into that here the next coming couple days? So I just realized that I'm fighting a 6-star. And I probably should have been paying a bit more attention than I was, because this is going to hurt a lot more than it should. Yep. Oh, okay, Brandon. So infinite streak is when... So after you get to the infinite streak, all of the opponent teams that you fight are either on par with your team or slightly above, slightly below. They're very manageable. When you're starting out an arena, the first 15 fights gradually get to be more difficult and more difficult and more difficult and more difficult, right? So without a proper strategy going into it, to get to the point where the fights stop being difficult and you start, you know, leveling out a bit, you got to get to something called an infinite streak. And the infinite streak is essentially winning the first 15 matches in a row of gradually more difficult opponents. You hear sometimes about people running into death teams or death squad teams. So just say that I bring up, you know, this team right here, right? So these are 3 max out 4-star champs. And right now I'm at win streak 7. So the hardest team here is this 26,000 squad with the rank 4, I'm presuming, stealthy. I'm not going to do that because that's just asking for trouble. But like a death squad team would be, you know, like three, rank 3 6-stars, right? So instead of a 26K opponent, it'd be like a 50K opponent fighting against my dinky little 4-stars, right? And that's not optimal because you're probably going to lose and then lose your streak. So getting through the infinite streak and building up the infinite streak is just strategically using the right, you know, a certain right amount of teams really to avoid that death squad to get to the 15 wins. So you wind up not having to worry about getting a ridiculous opponent like that and just, you know, coasting through the rest of your arena run. It's an interesting mechanic. And it usually winds up meaning that the first 15 fights are usually the toughest and most important fights of your entire arena run. So whether you're just going for as many points as you can, if you're going for milestones, or if you're going for a featured champ, regardless, the hardest fights are usually the first 15. So that's a long-winded answer. Sorry about that. Ken says, is a 5-star rank 2 enough? Unfortunately, no, not anymore. If it was a for the tier 5 basic arena, if it was for the tier 1 alpha arena, or if it was for the tier 4 class arena, yes, because at that point it cuts off at 5 stars, right? So you would probably be able to get away with 5-star rank 2 squad, but at this point you're really starting to ask for trouble or bad RNG if you use really anything less than an equivalent of a 5-star rank 3 team. Alright, come here, my dude. See if I can bait out a special. Nope, that's not it. Come on. Come on. Thank you. Alright, that makes my life a little bit easier. Back out, come back in, get another full combo, and that should about do it. Excellent. Cool. Raza, thank you. Cheers on the kind words. I'm glad you're here, and I'm really happy to hear that you enjoy it. Thank you. Civil Warrior used to be awesome. I remember when he first came out. It was what, 4th of July that he came out, which is kind of appropriate, kind of on the nose, I guess. But yeah, he was a lot of fun. He can do a lot of things. And Civil Warrior, like a lot of champs, could be very good and very useful in the modern meta if they just buff his numbers a little bit. Because the problem with most of the old champs, you know, before really 2018, some of the 2017, but by and large, anything before 2018 are tailored towards 2015, 16, 17 numbers, right? Since then, we've come out with like ridiculous champs in the last couple of years. Ridiculous champs that can do ridiculous things for ridiculous values. Which is great because, I mean, that's just the way a natural progression of the game goes. Everyone wants someone who's a little bit shinier, a little bit more exciting than what we've had before. You know, it makes sense. It's just that the first round of champs for the first couple of years haven't caught up with that. So as such, I mean, they're doing good numbers for 3 years ago. It's just that those numbers don't really hold up nowadays. So Civil Warrior is one of them. I kind of wish that they would buff his numbers. Because for that exact reason, he's fun to play. Yeah, 20 is kind of like a mini deathmatch. Even though you already have your infinite streak after win 15, the next 5 fights are kind of like walking on thin ice, I feel. So really what I do is like I run 4 stars from win 1 to win 12. You can keep going with 4 stars to win 15. Just know that that 12 or 13, 14, and 15, I should say, are going to be death squad teams, and you're going to have a bad time. If you've got high-ranking 5-star teams, that would be the time to start using them. Otherwise, just keep going with your either strongest 4-star team or your strongest 4-star power drain team. And that's really the unsung hero of getting an infinite streak. Not that you've got the biggest, heaviest hitters, but you've got a solid roster of power drain champs. Yeah, Daredevil's awesome like that. He can ignore a lot of people's phasing. He can ignore Hood when he goes invisible. He can't ignore Ghost when she's phasing, strangely enough. But yeah, that's one of the, I guess, the hidden secrets of the champ. Just kind of how, like, Juggernaut and Magneto can ignore inverted controls, or the Emma Frost telekinesis. So it's, you know, fun stuff like that. This is going to wind up going poorly for me. I just know the guy's dancing around too much. Come on, my dude. That's... Come on. Come on. If this dude does a special 3, I'm done. Okay, that worked out. That worked out. That could have been bad. Yeah. And, well, Brandon, good luck to you. There's a lot of stuff to the game. There's a lot of stuff to the game. So, yeah, no worries. Just gotta, you know, learn bit by bit and pick it up, and certainly the more you play, the easier and faster it comes, too. So... good luck. Pop it off. Quite perchance. Quite perchance. I will look into that in just a little bit, bud. But thank you. Thank you for the offer. Alright, so I'm at win 9. So I'll make sure I use the right people. Could probably get away with this. It's a pretty good squad for 9. Okay, so... I'm probably going to go for the toughest one, actually. Champion isn't that hard. Oh yeah, that works out pretty great. Cheers, Ken. Much appreciated. Yeah, AC, it's really awesome. It's really awesome. Hopefully, maybe sometime this week. But that's a big milestone. I'm really excited. Really excited. Alright, Mr. Lucas. Man Falcon, what's up, man? How are you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well this fine evening. That should do it. Oh boy. Oh, okay, that was close. That was close. Pop it off. Welcome to the mod family. Yeah, no kidding. The first one of those I ever did was the Tier 4 Basic Arena. And that was way back in the day when those were still super rare. And I had a bunch of 4 stars that sitting at a rank 3 that I really wanted to take up. I just didn't have the basics to do it because those are so hard to come by. So I was like, all right, let me try and figure out this tier 4 basic arena. And no joke, I spent more time, like sleepless hours, trying to get up to that 1.1 million because there was only one milestone at that point. Trying to get up to that 1.1 million so I could get my one tier 4 basic. I couldn't get the infinite streak. I didn't have the champs, and at that point I didn't know how to do it. So I get like 6 fights in and then get up to a death squad and then have to quit out, go back in and try again. Fun times. Definitely fun times. Alright, what am I going to want to do for this? If I do this, this isn't a fun. This one's not going to be fun. Doable, but it's not going to be fun. Alright, so Night Thrasher is far and away the easiest fight here, just because he's so squishy compared to the other two. Yeah, that one's easy. Yeah, it's like I was telling Ken a little bit earlier on. That's right, he's got the random thing starting from the beginning. It was like I was telling Ken at the beginning. The key to getting the infinite streak is to end with power control champs, and most fortunately the Blade Trinity team here is really ideal for that, because not only do they synergize extremely well together, but Sparky and Ghost Rider both power drain. Because you never know if you're going to get an extremely active or extremely passive opponent. And if you wind up being chased across the entire arena without them doing anything, or worse still, just sitting on specials, you're going to want a power control champ on in your corner just to prevent them from getting a special 3 and just one-shotting you. So that's why I've got this as my one power control team, and the other one is OG Vision, Voodoo, and Rogue. Not really because they're the best, but just because that's who I have ranked up. Worked out pretty well. Okay, so this went a whole lot better than I was fearing. Okay, that wasn't that bad at all. Yeah, and that's the thing too, because the first 15 fights are really when you're gonna find the most passive AI. Kind of like in map 5 of Alliance Quest, or at least it used to be when I was running it. And that is super, super annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna probably want to switch out Voodoo for Quake. Quake obviously isn't the power control champ, but you can just Quake and bake and have a good time. But see, like this isn't a death squad, but this is a very typical team of who you would find in either the featured 5-star arena, or today for the Sunday arena. You know, where you're a 4-star going up against 6s, So you immediately have a double disadvantage since they're 2-star rankings higher than you. You get all the, they get all the buffs and abilities just based off of that. Still manageable, still totally doable. It's just you're going in fighting with a pretty solid disadvantage. There you go, easy peasy. Alright, so now is time for some fun Quake and Bake practice. And Quake and Bake is probably the one reason why Quake is never ever going to be a 6-star, which is extremely unfortunate. But she's just way too good. Way too good. Wait. There we go, that should do it. Yep. Easy peasy. You get that constant concussion, so stupid Mephisto doesn't heal. You don't get touched if you don't want to get touched. Works out great. And it's still always fun just hearing everyone's different variation of that. You know, Shake and Quake. My favorite is Quake and Bake. Bunch of different plays on that. Quaking. See if I can get a special 2 out of this guy so he can get rid of his Beardo charges. Come on, my dude. Come on, my dude. Wrong one. Come on. Dude, we've gone through all 5 of those. All 5 of those without you throwing a single special. Well, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, my dude. Fire that off so when I get the synthesis in a sec, I don't get pushed to another special 3. Bingo. Now he's throwing specials. Thank you. Get that up so it doesn't glance. Turtling up because, you know what, forget it. I don't have time for this. I got 6 stars to blow through, man. Don't hold me up. That's too far away. Oh, dang it. That's what I get for trying to be get spicy with the heavies. Oh, really? They don't lock champs in map 2? That must be nice. Alright, so right now I'm at a 12 win streak. I can keep going and just keep refreshing my power drain champs, right? So I can either refresh the Blade team, Blade, Ghost Rider, Sparky, and just keep rolling with that for wins 13, 14, 15. Or I could refresh the Voodoo, OG Vision, and Rogue team. But that's going to wind up being one of those Death Squad teams. It's totally doable, it's totally plausible, it's just really stressful. So if you're in a position to throw up some of your 5 stars, so like your rank 4s or rank 5s if you got them, now's the time to do that. Because instead of the Death Squad, then you get the Kang and Thanos teams, which are just so much easier. And It saves you so much stress too. What's up, Sedan? How are ya? Hope you're doing well this fine evening. Glad to have you here. Yeah, every new subscription helps. See, my goal is to join up to the content creator program, which would be fantastic. Kabam they've edited the requirements to get into the program now. So they have a minimum threshold of subscribers that you have to have before you can even apply. And we're getting really close. So each and every bit helps, and I appreciate every single sub. No pressure, obviously. Do what if you want to, that's great. If you don't, that's totally cool too. But that's my goal right there. All right, uh-oh. I ain't got time to wait. Yeah, right? Dude, that happens to me all the time. Or if you're using a different star variant of the same champ that you're used to playing, like you play a 4-star instead of a 5. Or like you play one variant that's awakened and the other one isn't. You go in fighting like you got the awakened one. And you're like, oh wait, I actually don't have that ability. And just throws you for a loop. Oh, cheers, Brandon. Much appreciated. And AC, I'm looking forward to seeing you there too, bud. You know, AC, that'd be cool, but that's, I don't know. That's not even on my radar. I just want to play with cool champs and put them in interesting, creative situations. That's really what I get out of it. Yeah, check it out. AC's got a new title card within the last week. It's pretty cool. Alright, so... go in here, launch a special 2, and night-night jugs. Cheers. And then Ken, if you're still watching, still in the chat, I got a video posted on my page at the top. It's the first of my Too Long Didn't Read series. Just how to get a 4-star infinite streak in like a 5-star featured arena. Works too for the Sunday arena, but like when the new arena starts up tomorrow, if you know you want to just check that out for either tips or refresher or whatever. Just check it out. It's there on the page. A tool to use at your disposal. Yeah, AC, I'll check you out. I can't promise you I'll be able to stay up super late on my end, but if you give me a heads up when your stream would start, or if you get into a routine, Uh-oh. A routine for when your streams would start up. You bet I'll be checking it out. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun. The AC, the title card and the beginning, where it says AC, with the cool graphic vector art. Alright, so we're at 14, got one more to get to 15, and then this is going to be the last of the King and Thanos teams. And then I go back to fighting other people again. Well, robot versions of other people. Intro title card, tomato, tomato. You know what I mean. The cool one in the beginning. But you know, I'm thinking about it. Going into this week, I just kind of hope that this week is a lot more straightforward and drama-free than last week. Because last week was a doozy. Yeah, good on them. But if we could just get through this week without like the game just crashing or people just, you know, finally being heard when everyone vents their growing frustration, that'd be cool. See if we get like a summoner appreciation in the next like couple weeks, or like a day event. Halls of healing just randomly. Oh yeah, we totally had this planned the whole time. We're just announcing it and debuting it now. They keep teasing Platinum Pool too, as like an actual playable champ instead of just someone you fight in the Red Room. So we'll see about that. Yeah, well, I mean, AC, that's the balance, you know. You can upload a bunch of stuff, but then at the same time, I want the stuff that I upload to be good. And I've only got so much time to be able to upload stuff, so it's a balance. It's a balance. Like a lot of the stuff that I really want to keep diving into, like character analysis and interactions and whatnot. It's really interesting, but that takes a lot of time to do. And I love to do it. I just, you know, I got other stuff I gotta do too. It's just, you know, always a balance. Finding time for everything, making it work. And doing it at a decent pace where I don't feel like it's either a job or a pressure or a stressor, you know? Because you always got to have that balance. You know, Super is... He's just always in the family chat, you know, he's just saying this and that, and, you know, he's just like one of these dudes that's just like a night and day difference. He's got a warm, glowing disposition on his stream, and then in the chat, it's just like, whoa, dude. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. I love that guy. He's fantastic. Real pro, and he's fun to watch. I do enjoy catching his streams. But AGT is such a huge a family of alliances now. There's, I don't know, something like almost 30 alliances part of AGT now. We got, you know, unfortunately, we got a lot of cool people in family chat and a lot of different YouTubers too. I know every time that ILAC puts out a video, that always gets a bit of commotion in family chat. Well, AC right now, I think Platinum Pool, you can only fight against them, right? Like, even though his kit is tailor-suited for a human player, definitely not something that a bot would be able to handle. I'm hoping at some point that he just gets released as either a standalone offer or like, hey, we have like a boss rush event, you know, if you can beat these 6 bosses instead of getting like a, you know, 10,000 5-star shards, you get yourself a platinum pool. Something like that, where it's actually skill-based as opposed to, hey, you know, you got $800 to spend, we'll give you a 0.1% chance to pull them out of crystals, and maybe at the end of that $800 you'll get one business, you know, like gold pool. You know, Sedan, I can talk hypothetically about why that works. I've got a 5-star read at rank 4, but to be honest, I haven't played him since I got him. Like, I think it's just like he gets Power Sting. I know his abilities gets Power Sting, so maybe the damage you're talking about is like if you're throwing a special when you got the Power Sting on you. That's why. Because I know with the more debuffs that he has on you, the non-damaging debuffs, that increases his evasion, but then also if he's got like a synergy with Sue, then you got a whole extra 9 yards of stuff with that too. He's a really interesting champ, but he's one of the champs I kind of want to take a deep dive on sometime and just figure out all his bells and whistles. And figure out, you know, how he ticks. A couple of my mates have taken his 6-star to rank 2 and 1 to rank 3. So, I mean, there's definitely something to him. I know how to fight him, I just don't know how to use him. Alright, AC, thanks for stopping. You enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll catch you next time. Take care, man. Oh, that was bad. That's good. Why does he have... Oh, now he's got True Strike. Well, that's good. That's real good. Super's a good dude. And I do appreciate the raid still from a couple of weeks back. That was fun. What's up, Soldier? How you doing? Dude, 5-star Invisible Woman is a good pull. She's a really good pull. I love how everyone's been sitting on her. It's just like, oh yeah, she's far and away the worst of the Fantastic Four. When it's more like, oh yeah, she's not the most straightforward of the Fantastic Four, but she's still a really solid champ and can hit like a tank if you play her right. Alright, Wasp. No, please don't one-shot me. Oh, thank goodness. Wouldn't have been a one-shot, but that would have been a KO. Very easily could have been a KO. Wasp is insane. But again, Soldier, big congrats to you. She's awesome. Definitely rank up, worth rank 4 for sure. I probably wouldn't say first rank 5 worthy, but if you got a couple other science champs at rank 5 already, yeah, she would put in some work. Especially as like an Alliance War defender too. Chad, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Doing quite fantastic. This actually going up against the first Terrax I've ever fought in arena, which I don't know is either that me just not having gotten out enough, living in arena night and day since he came out, or this guy in Sin 6 is like the only one who ranked up Terrax to rank 5. One or the other. Alright, my dude. I need you to do your rock gain so I don't ever have to worry about you getting power anymore. I don't really care about your rock stacks super much. You know, there's got to be something to Terrax that we've all been missing. There's got to be something. Like, his idea for the rock stacks is really fun and it's really interesting. And I'm sure there's got to be something to him, but I don't know, man. I'm sure it's got to be, because there's no way that Kabam nowadays would just put out a bland, awful champ just for the kicks, you know? I'd have liked to think that they've learned their lesson from Diablo. But Diablo kind of is like the prototype clairvoyant, so a little something for everybody. Alright, so we are almost at win 20, and as soon as I get to 20, then start diving in on the 6 stars. But yeah, we've only been going a little less than an hour, and already it's going pretty good. Making good progress. And the nice thing about the Sunday arena is that still the cutoffs are still fairly relatively low and manageable. So that's real cool too. I just think it's freaky because between the regular milestones and then if you get the 1 to 10%, you wind up getting about 1,700 5-star shards. A little bit more if you count the 4-star dupe and max sig crystal, assuming that you get one. But like 1 day's arena for like 5 million points, 6 million points, something like that, gets you an equal number of 5-star shards as putting up like 16 million points during the week in the regular arena. He is, but the other thing with Falcon is that I still have never seen him on defense. I think it's just people haven't ranked him up. A couple people have, it's just he's so rare, you know? Like, he's there more for diversity as opposed to being a serious defender. I think really at the end of the day it just comes down to the damage that those rock stacks are flying. What is it? Rock stacks? I mean, rock stacks is Thing's thing, but whatever, rock field maybe. The damage for that is pretty underwhelming relative to like the chip damage that Void or Omega can do. I misspoke. I have one more round left. Alright, so actually, let me look at it quick. We got Reed here. So you know what? There's still a bunch of time left in the monthly event. Reed would be a lot of fun to take up against Red Guardian with that SIG ability. Being able to evade unblockable hits. Because it doesn't say unblockable specials, it says unblockable hits, which will make him super useful. Pre-fight ability doesn't count for what you're talking about. Careful Study is just based on throne specials. Taunt and Staggered shouldn't cause damage. Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing it's the Power Sting special or synergy that he's got here. But I don't know. Maybe it was a unique node for the content you were playing on. But now you've certainly piqued my curiosity. So let's see what we got here. Fury, Reed, Infinity Man. Well, that's the other thing though too, is that Terex hasn't really shown up in anything since he came out. And then even still, Terex was really easy to solo with Quake. Which, I mean, most champs are really easy to solo with Quake. But I think a lot of people wound up just cheesing him instead of like trying to fight him proper. So a lot of people didn't get good practice in with him. Me included. You know, you're just trying to get through the content quick to get back to more interesting stuff. Like for me, he came out when I was grinding out Act 6, so I was like, alright, well, I just gotta get this done, get the rewards, and then if I got time, I'll go back and study him up closer, but... Yeah, I'm sure he's an interesting champ. I'm sure that there's something, like I said before, that... something we're all just sitting on, but... I don't know. But like his bit where like after he throws a single special attack, he can't gain power or throw another special until all his power drains seems to be really counterintuitive and unhelpful. Wonder if he's gonna be one of those champs that people go back and reevaluate 3 months down the road. Hey, if you want to start a channel, I wholeheartedly recommend it. It's fun. It's real fun. Like, that's probably one of my favorite parts about having the channel here, and something I, you know, didn't discover until maybe like a month or two into having said channel, is that it's really cool to just live stream and get to talk with people about the game, you know? Because everybody's got their game. Whether, you know, you're a huge into Minecraft or Fortnite, LOL, if that's still as popular as it was, WoW, you know, Call of Duty, whatever, Smash Bros, Mortal Kombat, Pac-Man. But everyone's got their thing that they just enjoy playing, that they're really good at, and have just studied the heck out of. So even in, you know, amongst your close group of friends, right, everyone would still most likely have their own game. So you could talk shop, it's like, oh, you know, I played this, I discovered this and that, but unless you actually are neck deep into the game yourself, especially for something as deep and cavernous as this game is, you're not going to have any idea what's going on. Like, for instance, just talking about Terrax and the perks or whatever the intended benefit of his rock field ability is. You talk to anybody else outside of this game about that, and they're not going to have the slightest clue what you're talking about. So that's why it's cool to come here and just talk shop with people who know what I'm talking about, you know? Have some witty banter, throw Super under the bus, you know? Fun stuff. Sedan, how about I send you some of my luck? Send. But I don't know what to tell you. I do not know what to tell you. I've had the most disgusting, ridiculous 6-star luck over the last couple months. And I don't know, I genuinely don't know. Because, like, for the longest time, I had absolute garbage luck. Absolute garbage luck. But, you know, you pick up a champ here, you get a champ there, you make the most of a situation. Good things happen. But I'm very, very blessed and very, very fortunate to have the roster that I have here. Because I know it's certainly not common, but it's cool. I'm very fortunate, very lucky. Shiramoy, how you doing? Hope you're doing well this fine weekend. Cheers. It's been a very good Mother's Day weekend. It's it's really interesting just going through the Alliance chat, because, you know, some guys are just playing like normal and other guys are like, well, sorry everybody, I'll do what I can, but I'm gonna be ducking out here, you know, here and there pretty much all day. But it was a very fun Mother's Day weekend. Hope it was with you too. And to all of you, for that matter. It's always interesting adjusting all of the holidays and traditions that we've had around, you know, being on lockdown. It's like, well, you know, in years past, would have done X, Y, and Z, gone here, done this, seen these people. But now it's just like, well, if I can leave my house, you gotta improvise. But I think we made the most of it. Alright, so let's keep rolling with that. Still sitting at about 1.5 mil, which is not bad. Hoping to hit 3 when it's all said and done. When I get through the 6s and then dive back into the 5s. End up somewhere in the 4 million range when Arena ends. There we go, that works. I think the nicest thing about this arena is that it's completely optional. You know, if you got the time to do it, awesome. You get free rewards, got good stuff. Rewards out of this arena are probably just about as good as the regular 3-day arena, which is nice. But, you know, if your weekend is busy and you got other stuff going on, you should definitely do that instead. You're not really going to be missing out on anything. Nothing that you can't earn in-game normally, naturally, again with the regular 3-star or 3-day arena. So nice little cherry on top. Just backhand this guy into oblivion. Call it a day. Excellent. You could be Brandon, do something like refined English, refined like old chap, or you want to be careful how you phrase that though, because old chap is fun. Saying like you're wearing chaps is a little different. Kind of just depends what you're going for. But that could be like a fun play on words, you know? Or chappy. Still gotta be careful with that one, I suppose, but chappy, I'm thinking of the movie. That's P-I-E, I think, instead of Y. Or just invent something completely random, you know? Completely random, and then just brand it around you and have it become a new part of you. Have the YouTubes be a new start. Brandon's House O Games. Den O Games, maybe. Interesting. You know, one of these days too, I keep saying that. I say that about a lot of things. One of these days I'll do... But really, one of these days I want to get a lot better with champs like Magneto against Nick Fury, and then practicing timing my special 2 to launch right after, like a frame after the decoy is destroyed. Because, and I've done it before by accident, but I've done it before. If you time it just right to have the heal block from the special 2 hit after real Nick Fury pops out, you can heal block him at like 2% health and not have to go through that whole full health regen degen nonsense. No, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. You know, if that's your cup of tea, then all the power to you. But I just know that the way that Google's search algorithms work out is that you're going to wind up being... You're going to have a wide diversity of of search hits. So, you know, just be aware of that. Might show up in some interesting unintended places. Sedan. Well, sorry. Which stun were you talking about? Is that like Doom's backhand? If so, if the opponent can be shocked, Doom can apply a shock debuff, and if the opponent is shocked, then he kind of gets a sort of like a wasp-esque stun, and then he just backhands them into oblivion. It's really fun. It's really fun. It's really useful. It's an amazing gameplay mechanic that fits perfectly with the character. Plus, you know, it adds a good bit of damage too, so it's a win-win-win all around. Oh. This should do it. Yeah, there we go. Cheers. Excellent. So we're 24 wins in, just over 2 mil. Making some pretty good progress. I'll take that. Brandon, you're totally fine. I'm the clown who spent a good 15 minutes explaining Infinite Streak. It's all good. I'm like, there has to be a more eloquent way of saying it than the way that I am in fact saying it. But someday I'll figure it out. Someday. Put that on the to-do list. Outside of figuring out Mr. Fantastic, figuring out Terrax, and what other the other half a dozen things I've said I need to figure out. Just tonight. Yeah, stun immune or a shock immune champ. Or like if you're fighting against another Doom, you're like, oh yeah, Doom's shock immune. So now my backhand is not working out super great. Kind of blowing up in my face. See, you couldn't have just done that last one bit of damage. Ah, okay, cool. That's a relief. So I figured, you know, this whole YouTube channel could be a whole lot of things. I just don't want it to be me, an idiot, blathering like a fool. Because that's not only not entertaining, but that's just, you know, people got other things to do. You know, better use of their time, so. Trying to avoid that at all costs. Let's see. Got that, and we got that, and then let's go down here for another mutant. No, I don't feel bad about explaining it. I'll explain it any day, all day, any chance I get. It's just, I want to, like my goal for anything, right? Whether it's explaining you know, how to get a streak, how to do a strat, you know, explaining a synergy, is to just keep it concise, right? I have a real habit of just like droning on or splitting off into tangents, which to me is like super interesting. It's like, oh, I just thought of this interesting thing, and then I circle back around for another interesting thing, which is to me interesting, but it, you know, getting away from the original intention. So it's always fun when I go back and edit some of my explainer videos, just a couple that I've put out so far. It's just like, all right, how do I say what I just said in half the time? That's how those videos wind up being like a minute, minute and a half instead of 5. Alright, so I'm going to say that after I get through with this round here, I'm going to go jump into 8Q for a hot sec, burn off the couple energy that I've built up if I can. And then if I come back here and keep putting up points. Because I don't think... it's still too soon for my 4 stars to have refreshed. Pretty sure. Because then I also want to start diving into the Tier 4 basic arena too. Because if I'm going to be grinding out Taskmaster, even though his cutoff was pretty low, I still don't want to get distracted with other arenas too. So let's see where I'm at. Alright, perfect. Perfect. What do you do here? Special delivery still, and then degen and power gain. Okay. Excellent. I like it. I like it. I like the ring to it. Okay. 6 hits left. Come on. Bait out a special. That'd be awesome. So the degen doesn't keep stacking up. Any day now would be awesome. Preferably before. Thank you. We got 3 hits left. There. There's this. Okay, that worked out. Well, you know, BG is just a natural wordsmith, so one day I hope to aspire to his level of shininess. I mean, I got a ways to go, but someday. It's a highly desirable level of attainment. I'd say vigor, strike back, but you got regular power gain, so that should be fine. Oh, that's fun. With special delivery, she gains a bar of power every time I use a special, so that's fun. Great node combinations, kabam. I need to bait that special, thank you. Should be at 2 bars. Okay. Okay, there we go. No big deal there. I don't know, I think Chapter's show is pretty good. You could have a lot of fun with the banner art, for sure. And really, at the end of the day, too, that's kind of, you know, half the battle is coming up with interesting banner art and then interesting thumbnails. Alright, so back to the grind. Bring up Rocket and this. And you know what? I'm going to take a hot second to do another tangent. So Rocket's got the 3 different shields, right? So he's got a kinetic shield, shell shield, and emergency shield. But I never really paid much attention to what each of them do. So shell shield is armor up, so he is a havoc counter. That's interesting. And then the emergency shield is up to 60% resistance for specials. Which could be interesting if you got to eat a special 3. Especially since he's so squishy. Oh yeah. And that's the thing too, you know, it's always cool watching you know, Seaton's live streams when he's playing too, or Legacy, or you know, whoever else, right? The top echelon of MCOC YouTube. But you know, it's fun watching them play and watching the commentator talk and play at the same time. But if you're like watching the live chat, you know, you got the copy just scrolling through just like rapid paced, right? And it's fun now. It's like I get to see what everyone's typing. I get to respond to everybody, and or actually get to carry on a conversation, as opposed to just seeing this infinite, rapid scroll of text and copy. So I mean that's pretty cool. I really enjoy that. Yeah, right. Shearmore, I'm right there with you. It kind of just goes to show how broken the 3-day arenas are, just from top to bottom, and how desperate they are for a rework again. The fact that they aren't like updated, biannually at the bare minimum, I think is kind of ridiculous. Just because that's how fast the meta changes. And I don't think the meta changing is a bad thing. Ignoring the changing meta, that's another story though. Yeah, Falcon, exactly. Exactly. And at the same time too, I don't want to say like I don't feel like myself otherwise, but it's nice to just be able to like, have a natural, normal conversation instead of like being a character. Where you're always putting on a face, saying like doing a shtick. Not saying that other people do, but obviously, I'm saying that that might be how I would feel. And at the end of the day, I'm just some Joe Schmo with a YouTube channel, playing a free mobile video game and getting overly invested in the ridiculous layers of complexity that this thing offers. I would very much like to run incursions tonight, but tonight probably not. It's not going to work out. 'Cause I think the bulk of the time that I have to play and hang out tonight is just barely going to be enough to get through the Sunday arena and then start in on the tier 4 basic. So I would ideally like to get through this and then get the infinite streak going on that. Just so it's done and ready to go. That would be nice. It would just make my next week a little bit easier. Because it sucks when you're trying to do a feature grind, but at the same time you're like, there's also the tier 1 arena, or the tier 4 basic, which to me is my favorite of the three. Tier 4 class is just completely useless. Because really, at the end of the day, who wants a stupid Ascendant crystal? It's bad enough that the top prize is a tier 4 class crystal as opposed to a tier 4 class selector. But even still, that's the top prize. Odds are you're going to wind up with one of the Ascendants and pull, what, ISO? For all that work? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I know tier 1 alpha and tier 4 basic are super cheap in the glory store now, but still, I don't mind putting up 2 million points for a couple of tier 4 basic or 1.6 million for 3 tier 1 alpha. Obviously, I would prefer if they updated rewards, so you get a little bit more for that amount, but otherwise, it's not bad. Hey, not at all. I appreciate it. Not at all. See, now I ranked up my 4-star Karnak, and he's maxed out at rank 5. My 5-star Karnak is rank 2 or rank 3, and that's as far as he's going. And the 6-star here is probably forever going to be rank 1. Unfortunately. I wish you were better, or at least had a more interesting kit, but as it stands, he's kind of... He's got True Strike and a Medusa Synergy. And that's about what he's got going for him. Yeah, well, I'm surprised that they do. I thought they did away with all the chip requirements for all 3, not just the 2. Because the tier 4 class arena just sucks, top to bottom. It's so dated. I was that same way with the old animated Spider-Man, the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. It's one of those things that I just have a really fond memory of when I watched it live as a kid. But then going back and rewatching it under a contemporary setting nowadays, it's like, oh my god, this is so bad. It had some interesting storylines, I'll give them that, and I appreciate the stuff that they pulled from the comics, but at the same time too, like the way the horrible CG animation that's just thrown in with the regular 2D, and the fact that the whole show is animated on like 4s instead of 2s, it's just brutal. Now, Batman animated, that's a different story. That still holds up. And then let's do that. I mean, really what they should do is, I think, they're going to need to update arenas just top to bottom. I think the best thing that they could do is just get rid of the 3-star arena altogether, and then offer the 3-star champ as like a $5 buy. Like a $5 cash buy, or, you know, use X amount of gold or loyalty or whatever. Glory, something. You can just get them outright in the store. 2-stars can be the same stupid exclusives that they are currently, that they still try and sell you for real money, even though they have absolutely no place or value anymore. But, you know, at least that way, then everybody can get a 3-star to play the champs, you know, how they handle, if you like them, if you don't like them, without having to grind the arena. So then at that point, you would just have the 4 or 5 and a new 6-star arena, where it actually starts dealing and dishing out, you know, 6-star shards as prizes, instead of like putting up 16 million points in the 5-star arena to get 2,000 5-star shards and 200 6-star. Which does what, you know, for anybody, right? That's still grinding 4 arenas, or 5 arenas really, over 2 weeks to get a single 5-star champ. And 5-stars are still useful, but it's like there's 160 champs in the game, give or take. So to get one 5-star to gamble to get the one champ you need out of that 160 champ pool is ridiculous. I'm not on 5s yet. What am I doing? I like Batman Beyond just because it's such a fun, natural feeling evolution of new Batman animated. Like I didn't like that they switched up animation styles halfway through Batman animated series. I preferred, by and large, the original designs to the new ones. But then when they came out with Batman Beyond and continued on that same animated style for Batman Beyond, then it's like, okay, well, I see how this works. This is interesting. It's a very 90s future, which is always fun. But that show was really cool. And for me, as a kid, it was the first time, you know, seeing like, oh, hey, this is like the natural evolution of the characters that I had been watching the last few years, you know. Way before, you know, Star Wars did it and everyone's doing it, where it's like, hey, let's dig up so-and-so 80s actor from that popular 80s movie and like bring them out into the limelight for one last go. You know, Fast and Furious 17, Revenge of the Old Folks Home, you know, that sort of thing. So it was cool to see what happened to Bane. I think the Mr. Freeze storyline was probably one of the best ones from that. I think the idea of the Joker's gang was brilliant. Kind of just carrying on the legacy of Joker. Sort of like how the Rorschach got integrated into the HBO Watchmen spinoff. I thought that was really fun. And then the movie was amazing. Return of the Joker. Awesome. I think Ink was a super creative, unique idea. What's his name? Powers as I forget his villain name though. He was a fun villain. Yeah, they had a lot of good stuff going. Batman Beyond. It depends, because like I think Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon are in two different fields. Cartoon Network is trying to do one thing, and I think Nickelodeon's doing another. Like some of the newer Nickelodeon shows, I think are really fun. Just because I'm not the target audience anymore, I still really appreciate what they do. Like if I was a kid and was watching Nick, then I think I would love those shows as much as I loved, say, you know, Ren and Stimpy and Rocko's Modern Life. Because it's same sort of like bizarro, zany, wacky, stupid humor that's still so much fun to watch. You just have a greater appreciation of it, I think, as a kid, seeing that sort of style of humor for the first time, as opposed to, oh yeah, I see where they drew inspiration from that from, you know, 20 years ago. I think if they combine Arena Streamoy, it would only work if they combine like featured arenas. Because if they combine like a 3 and 4-star feature arena, I think that could work. But if they combine it like how it used to be, where the you know, the rerun champ was the 1 to 10% prize, and then the featured champ was like the top 150, like how they used to. That would not work out. But I mean, if they're the same champ, that's not bad. Have like the last milestone be the 3-star champion. So anybody who just wants the character can stop there, and anybody who wants to stretch the extra 10 million points, whatever it is, 5 million, to get the 4-star, then they can. Come on, my dude. Come on. Come on. Nope. Thank you. And just really roll with it. And then to extrapolate on that, I wouldn't mind if they do that with like a 5- and 6-star arena. You want to put up, 40 million points, 50 million points, whatever it is. Sure, here's the 5-star. You get them automatically. You want to put up like another 20, 30 million on top of that for a shot at the 6-star? Yeah, go for it. That way you don't put up like 70 million points just to be 3,000 short, Because that's so dumb. If it's like a Taskmaster arena where his cutoff is like 35 million, yeah, that sucks, but who cares? It's 35 million. When it's the Doom arena and you put up 110 and you don't get them because you only put up 108 million, that's really bad. That's really bad. None of those people got a consolation prize. Like 107 million netted you the exact same crap rewards as like 15. Come on. And I knew people who that happened to, and my heart just breaks for them, because in any other arena, 107 million would net you like rank 1. Brave and the Bold was fun. It was cute. It was really cute. Like, it had a couple of fun storylines just outright, but Brave and the Bold was fun because it was like that sort of like Adam Westy throwback Batman, but still super kid friendly too. Oh, that's right, Blight. Thank you. What is my longest win streak? My longest one was for the Doom Arena, and I called it quits at 777. I figure if I don't get Doom with my lucky 7s, then there's just no point. But that was the most unsure I'd ever felt. That 777 wins was the most unsure I'd ever felt about an arena ever. Yeah, chaps, I saw that. He came out with that a little bit earlier today with that, 7 Sins game that he's been playing. I like the idea of that. I like the idea of you getting either extra points or unlocking extra things by having specific qualifiers. I think really, since they've introduced pre-fight abilities, it shouldn't be that hard to engineer something like, okay, well, here you've got a vanilla, just say a vanilla Venom boss, right? He's a 5-star, he's just out of the box Venom. But you've got all these certain like pre-fight abilities, we'll just call them pre-fight buffs, right? That you can add to Venom. So you can either just fight him vanilla, or you can make him extra spicy depending on how many extra buffs you want to add to him. Oh, you want to add 200% health? Cool. Now it's the vanilla Venom with 200% buffs, and you get slightly better rewards. Oh, you want to, you know, add Aspect of War, unblockable specials, increased power gain, masochism, you know, polka dot power, whatever, on a Venom as well. Well, you're an idiot, but we're going to give you cool stuff if you're able to do it. Something like that, right? Where it's still a choose your own adventure, everybody can do it. It's just that if you know, you want to make it more interesting, it's still you can tailor your adventure towards what you're interested in, right? Maybe something like that. The little bat creature. That wasn't Batmite, was it? Because I think there was an episode where Batmite teamed up with Mxyzptlk for in Superman's world, and they were just causing a whole bunch of nonsense. That's right, you got Unstoppable. Like I saw Brian's video and I actually kind of like that too, right? Where you've got the same sort of layout where you've got like a similar to that where you got the choose your own adventure, right? So you start up like the skill map, right? And you've got 5 different portals you can warp to with a different boss on each with different buffs and whatnot. So you only got to fight one. You can fight them in any order you want. But each fight is different. Each fight is unique. And then as soon as you get that one fight, then you're done. You can go back in. You can fight the other ones for added bonuses or added perks. But, you know, it's not just the same, like, one solution for everybody bit. Because I think that's really... It gets stale with like the current monthly quests. It's like, okay, well, this is the I'm gonna go back to it again. The Aspect of War path. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna bring my one champ who, you know, I'm really solid with when it comes to Aspect of War, and they're gonna take care of the entire Aspect of War path, and they're gonna fight the boss who really doesn't benefit from that at all. It's just, you know, the regular vanilla boss. Fight the vanilla boss the same way I've fought him the other 5 times on the other 5 paths and call it a day. Because, like, to Cian's point, there's a whole bunch of different bosses that they've had in-game, and that's not even including the different, like, bosses from the, 5 or 6 different boss rush events that they've had ever, right? The fact that you can't do like a monthly boss rush, community boss rush event, I think is silly. There's enough people playing, and I think enough people would be interested to contribute. And if nothing else, then just, you know, recycle ideas. It's like, hey, you remember that Ice Phoenix you fought like 5 months ago? Well, we wager that you've learned a bit from that fight, and you've got a couple different options for them now. So here's that same Ice Phoenix fight again. Have at it. And yes, I know Ice Phoenix is now in Act 7, but I'm talking about like an actual Ice Phoenix that's fun to fight, as opposed to just the Act 7 in-your-face BS mechanics. Oh yeah, so it's like a Mario Maker-esque bit. See, that'd be fun if the nodes that they put on there are fair, right? Because if you got like a degen and invade, not even invade, because invade, I think, benefits the player more than the bot. But I feel like you make every enemy like unstoppable, unblockable, invulnerable with like 300% power gain, then it's just like, that's dumb. That's no fun. And then, you know, whatever it is that they wind up coming up with has to go hand in hand with like a prize that makes the whole thing worth it. You know, I don't want to have this really cool game mode, but I get like 1/20th of a percent of like whatever it is that I need. So it's like, oh, well, we gave you the option to get a fully formed, I'll say 6-star or tier 5 basic. Yeah, well, that's great, but now I've got to do this one game mode 30 times to get one thing for like an RNG prize. It's like, cool, thanks, but I'm not going to do that because that's like a full day, and that's again, that gets back to the problem. It's boring. You know, I think the least favorite thing that anybody enjoys doing for like most modern console games is just grinding XP to level up so you can get to the next chapter of the story. But that feels like that's what a lot of this game seems to be heading towards, or at least becoming. It's just incessant XP farming and grinding for RNG rewards. Well, I do think that for Act 7 that they were slowly starting to learn their lesson. Like some of the node combos and paths were arguably easier than, you know, in the first section. Plus, like, Section 1 had like a 300% attack boost. Section 2, or sorry, 400%. Section 2 had like a 300%, and then Section 3 had a 200%. So they kept reducing the attack rating, but even still, there are still far too many champion-specific paths where if you didn't have X champion or Y champion as a backup, you can't do it. And then even still, even if you had X champ or Y champ, it's still going to be a pain in the butt because we know that the only champ you can bring is X or Y, and we tailor these other things to really slow you up. So you got the perfect counter, great, you know, too bad, deal with it. I really am interested to see what they come up with as a alternative and as a counter to improve the user experience. I do very much agree with Seaton that if they're labeling this like Book 2, it should actually feel like a completely different animal, as opposed to, oh yeah, that's Act 6 but worse. The exact same thing, just worse, you know. Cheers. You know, if they actually came out with like a Mother's Day themed something, maybe. These are the mothers in the game. Kind of like how they do like the Women of Power event, and then you get the Women of Power crystal. But, you know, it's like, hey, these are the mother characters. You can get a 2-star or you can get a 6-star. You're not going to get the 6-star, you're going to get the 2-star, but we're going to make it seem like you might. That sort of thing, you know? I think if you're still working to become uncollected, I think, you know, 1,500 units isn't awful for some of those. But I think if you've been playing the game for a while, not even if you're an endgame player, but if you've just been playing for a while, it doesn't do anything for you. So I saw that and I'm like, hey, that's cool. No, I'm good. And I never looked at it again. All right, so there we go. 38 wins in, about 4 million. Got a couple more 5 stars to go through here. These are still rank 4s. See if I wind up a little bit over like 4.7 million, something like that. That should be good for this. And that actually should wind up taking me to the end of the stream, so I'll take that. Kind of makes me wonder, like, how many of like the daily offers are just pre-programmed into the game, as opposed to, you know, hey, here's something new, have it go live in a couple days, as opposed to, here's the entire month of stuff that we've developed on the back end, and we're just going to go through the motions. Because like the one from today is very tone deaf to everything that they've been saying the last couple of days. Which makes me either afraid that they're just giving a bunch of lip service, so we shut up and put the torches and pitchforks away, or like I was just saying, that it's so pre-programmed far in advance that, you know, it's just an automated thing at this point. Gwenpirion, from what I hear, is like a very warlock specific champ. It's like, you got a warlock, you're gonna be having a good time. So evidently his warlock spores don't count for power, that power drain immunity, whatever it is. Which, by that logic, neither would Torch's stuff, but I don't know, I haven't started it, I'm not going to. It's cool, but I'm good. I got through the first couple sections. Section 3 is just, nah, I'm good. Thanks for the offer. I did the map. That to me was fun. I'm good. Especially if it's all gonna be changing after the fact anyway now. Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder if they're going to take BG's comments to heart or Seaton's. Because BG's approach was like, you've introduced too many god tier champs into the game, and the god tiers are really limiting what you can do in game. And to that I say, well, why don't you just, like, in very specific situations, add, like, resistance, or, like, how they still have, like, champion specific gates in the early levels of the game. Why don't you just have, like, the inverse? It's like, well, you can't pass this gate if you got this champion in your roster. And I say very specific options, because if you wind up, like, going into a path and there's like 18 different champs that you can't bring, and all of them are the quote-unquote beyond god tier, then that's just horrible game design for one, and a huge FU and slap in the face to everybody else who's been saving and scrimping and leveling up those champs. So I think strategically it could be fun. I think if in Act 6 or some of the early Act 6 stuff, or even some of the variant stuff, right? When everyone started complaining about 5-star gates and later on 6-star gates. It's like, oh, I don't have enough of X, Y, and Z. And it's like, I get what Kabam was going for. I think they implemented it too early. But I get what they were going for. It's just that in one hand, you limit the champs that you can use for the content, and in the other, don't give any good, reliable, solid way of getting the champs that you're forcing people to use now. It's like there's a huge disconnect between that logic. The new update to the Glory Store is fantastic. I love that if you buy nothing else each week, you can get a fully formed Tier 5 Basic in like 2 weeks and change. I really appreciate that. I also appreciate that Tier 1 Alpha and Tier 5 Basic are extraordinarily dirt cheap, and you can buy specific class catalysts now too, because their daily class arenas or maps are a joke. So that was definitely a very welcome improvement. Nice little quality of life thing. I just am still waiting for that level of care and love to be applied to the rest of the game. She heals from energy damage, yeah, but then isn't it when Torch has like X amount of incinerates, then he negates healing, especially if you got the spare up. So like the first couple of hits would suck because you aren't doing any damage, but then after a while, wouldn't it not matter anymore? I say that as someone who is not familiar with Torch, so maybe not. And again, I haven't tested it. Do that, and we'll do that. Well, that, yes. But if they're going to be going through and doing compensation packages, they should also send compensation for the Broken Abyss fights that went unacknowledged. Hey, that invisible woman at the end there on path 1 and path whatever it was is broken? Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna fix that, but for everybody else who already fought her, here's, you know, a little bit of love. As opposed to, yeah, whoops. Oh well. Because that's no fun. Yeah, Realm of Champions is the new game from Kabam coming out eventually, featuring gameplay that no one has seen yet, and a gameplay style that hasn't really been released. So, like, Storm-X here that I'm using, for example, is from Realm of Champions, as is Sorcerer Supreme. And like the gist of it is like, it's a slightly like Elseworlds divergent timeline bit where like the mutants are fighting the Captain America house, are fighting the Wakandans, are fighting the Iron Man house, are fighting the Spider People houses. Like Game of Thrones style, right? It's been announced. There's some key art, but we don't really know much else about it yet, aside from it's a thing that's happening eventually. I heard that she's fixed. Well, yeah, because she's fixed now, right? It's like I've seen a lot more videos of people just absolutely soloing her and just destroying her with Doom in like 6 hits. which is nice. It's nice to see, but you know, when I did it, I still wound up blowing a couple of revives. Depends how she was changed. That Cat Marvel movie fight was probably my favorite fight in all of Abyss. By using Dr. Doom, but you know, it's that it's the dog in the burning room meme over at Kabam HQ. You know, they're just putting out new champions and copy pasted monthly events, and they're like, well, this is fine. Nothing to see here. But I don't know. Like I said, it just really depends on what they actually wind up doing. I give them the benefit of the doubt. I believe that they're going to, you know, take constructive feedback to heart. I also believe that everybody wants the game to be fun and successful. I want that. The community wants that. They want that. So we'll just we'll see what they do. I will say, after the whole 12.0 fiasco, they did come back in spades to make everything right again. I do kind of wonder what the game would be like now, a couple years later, had 12.0 gone through as intended. Like, we'd have items galore and probably just basically be Transformers. Alright, Choppers. Yes, I will be live streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be day 1 of the Taskmaster feature grind, going for top 150. So, yeah, I'll be around. Hope to catch you then. Let's see how we're doing. Should be able to hit 5 mil. Probably stop at 5 mil. Solid 2 hours worth of gameplay for one night. Cheers. You know, I just now, halfway through this fight, realized that I'm fighting Star-Lord with Iceman. That's how, like, autoplay I am. So invested in the conversation, and I'm not even paying attention to what champ I'm using or who I'm fighting. That can't be a good sign. Cheers, Chappers. Thanks for stopping by. Real glad you're here, and it was real good talking with you. Take care, bud. So then also, the way I'm looking at it, going into the Taskmaster grind, it looks like he went super low. I saw a post on Trocos that someone got ranked 90 or something with 35 million points. I'm assuming that he's going to wind up going higher next time, so I'm assuming that 35 mil is probably going to be the cutoff, but even that having been said, it should be a pretty straightforward grind just for me to get that dupe, which is nice because I don't want to blow any units on revives. The units are going to be saved for, tentatively saying, maybe 5-star White Widow, depending on what her cutoff is. If not, then a Red Guardian. So I'm hoping by then I'm sitting probably closer to 3,000 or 4,000 by that point in a couple weeks. We'll have to see. But that should set me up nicely for some refreshes for the Guardian grind. Assuming, of course, I decide to go for him and his first cutoff isn't something disgusting like 70 or 90 million, something crazy. Because, no thanks. I'll just try and fish him out of a featured in a couple months. That having been said, tomorrow's Monday, so tomorrow is when the Black ISO market refreshes, which means I get to do a crystal opening video. Still going for that Electro, but tomorrow is the discounted featured 5, so that's cool. I didn't even think about that, but that'll be fun. Really hoping I pull him though. That way I can start saving up 5-star shards again. Do that instead. Got plenty of mystics coming down the pipes there too. And let's do that. Why not? Second too fast. Gen X, Weapon X. Interesting. You know, I'm sure there's some optimal gameplay loop with Diablo, especially for arenas where you don't really need to worry about saving specific potions. But ain't nobody got time for that. That one, it works just as well just to punch them in the face until they don't get up again. That works. And if I didn't mess that up, he should still have debuffs left. So I think he gets 6 debuffs on Taskmaster before he's debuff immune. Something like that. And here we go. Going through the motions here. I'm not going to get up to a special 3 by the time he goes on his stupid shield power mode. Yep. So I'm just going to have to heavy him and hope to get lucky. I am so lucky I was paying attention right there. I was anticipating having a dex a special 1, but just ticked over to the second bar of power. So that was a special 2 I had a dex. Glad I was paying attention. Alright, so there's that, and there's that, and there's that. And there's that, and there's that, and excellent. So, Wasp here is the easiest fight, because this is going to be probably like 2 5-hit combos and 2 heavies. No, maybe a little bit more. There we go. 3 heavies. Yeah, the other ones here might take a sec. I was saying it earlier that Civil Warrior is a good champion, he just needs better numbers. Red Skull is in the exact same category. Red Skull is an amazing champion that can do a lot of cool stuff. He just needs better numbers. He's a great champ too because he's one of the champs that require a very high skill level to be able to use optimally. It's just that, again, because his numbers are garbage, it doesn't reward you for playing optimally. So that's a shame. And, you know, Drax is also a champion in the game. Makes an appearance. His double hit was really cool until that got nerfed. And then they give, like Domino and plenty other champs, double hit combos. And, you know, then you kind of just gotta ask yourself what the whole point was. But, excuse me, that is 5 million points right there. 5 million points, and that's a good place to call it for a night. I think I'm in a pretty good spot to wind up in the 1 to 10% bracket. May wind up throwing up a couple extra points when some of the champs are fresh tomorrow morning. I don't know, play it by ear. But until then, like I said, I'm going to call it a night. I want to give a big thank you to everyone who's been watching live this whole time, and big thanks to everyone who's been chatting too. It always makes the grind and the stream a whole lot more fun. Just getting the gab with you guys. So I'm real glad that you're here, and we had some good times. To everybody who is watching the stream from the future, cheers for sticking with me that long. I appreciate you finding me in the depths of the YouTubes and riding the video out. I do live streams pretty much every single night. I had said earlier that I'm going to be doing the featured 5-star Taskmaster grind starting up tomorrow night. It shouldn't be too bad, somewhere in the 35-40 million point range to wind up in the top 150, I'm hoping. So that'll be good. I'll look for me then. To stay on top of those live streams, if you want to go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel, I'm also currently doing a content creator program push. Those guys have a minimum subscriber threshold to be able to join the program. So each subscription counts, and I very, very much appreciate it. So a big thank you in advance. But until next time, everybody, like I said, that's going to do me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, everybody, take care, talk soon, stay safe, and be well, everyone. Bye for now.